Sync, we thrive. Treasuries inside, we're keeping it alive. Let's keep rolling full speed ahead. EMP's the key, we're never misled. Our mission's clear as a northern star. Purchase EMP, that's who we are. Then to the fusion fires, we offer it strong. Over and strong, over and over, till we can't go wrong. Grow together, powered by EMP. Crash, but we're selling free. In sync, we push. In sync, we thrive. Treasuries inside, we're keeping it alive. Let's keep growing full speed ahead. EMP's the key, we're never misled. Our mission's clear as a northern star. Purchase EMP, that's who we are. To the fusion fires, we offer it strong. Over and strong, over and over, till we can't go wrong. Rope together, powered by EMP. The waves may crash, but we're sailing free. In sync, we push. In sync, we thrive. Treasuries inside, we're keeping it alive. Let's keep rolling full speed ahead. EMP's the key, we're never misled. With EMP, we sharpen our swords. Fusing the energy, claiming rewards. No hesitation, we rise as one. Valhalla awaits when the job is done. Grow together, powered by EMP. The waves may crash, but we're sailing free. In sync, we push. In sync, we thrive. Treasuries inside, we're keeping it alive. Let's keep rolling full speed ahead. EMP's the key, we're never misled. Onward we go, the EMP way, to the halls of glory where we'll stay. Rowing as one, no turning back. With EMP power, there's nothing we lack.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I'm the team lead here, and this is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Again, always fashionably late for the algorithm, and because we had some really killer news about 5 minutes before the AMA started that we will share in just a minute. But before we get to that, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as helping me welcome my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday AMA.
Yes, no doubt. Again, another jam-packed week. Never a dull moment, not only in crypto overall, but in our ecosystems. Market looking really good. Bitcoin and ETH bouncing a little bit more. I still think we're going to see a lot of volatility coming into October. Obviously with the global economies, the U.S. being at the head of that, we could see some FUD or some, bullishness around rate cuts. Obviously, with the upcoming election, there's still a lot of uncertainty, but overall, I think we're still way on track for the real bull run to begin, later this year, early 2025, even with some, potential FUD with the overall markets. So, that being said, too, we're gonna jump right in. I mean, again, we have a lot to go over. I want to just keep it as short and sweet as we can. We've been trying to keep things around an hour with our AMAs, but as usual, a lot to get to. And yeah, we'll talk about the good news we got just before the AMA started. So, LA, anything you want to add before we kick things off?
No, let's hop in.
All right, awesome. So, things are, back up and swinging again, not only with the overall markets, but with the peg profit cash out battery as well. We've been giving a lot of love to our European counterparts. We've been doing some additional injections in the European time zones. So I think, we've seen those people happy. We appreciate you being patient with us. We also fixed the UI issue that we were having with the tab itself. Again, never a dull moment. Things work perfectly for weeks, and then we have one issue that leads to a bigger issue. But as usual, the team is very responsive. We had one of our senior guys on it and fixed it on Monday. So that is working flawlessly now. And again, all week we have been manually injecting the ETH into the contract at numerous times a day. But we've talked about this, automatic distribution contract, which will distribute the ETH randomly many times during the day. And I have some bullish news. We should be seeing it within 24 hours. So that was the phone call right before this AMA. Everything is on track. Again, this random distribution contract is not as easy as it sounds on the surface, and it's one of the reasons why we didn't want to delay the launch of the battery further because of it. But we're utilizing, Chainlink keepers. Again, we use that for all of our legacy contracts as well, and we're doing it right. We're not just throwing together, a quick down and dirty smart contract that could potentially have issues down the road. We always build things the right way and put in the due diligence to test them before they go live. So keep an eye out for that. Again, I don't want to put a time on it, but it will be here ASAP. So that's really exciting. And then, you'll just have to wait and see when the ETH fills up. Now, that isn't, the end all be all of the distribution either. So just remember, even though we have it at random intervals now, you still may have to wait on that ETH filling up because the demand is just so much higher than we originally had anticipated. So, Elliot, I know we wanted to go over tonight specifically more about the strategy that we've really been trying to drive home. So, do you want to talk about
Hmm.
that a little bit while we go? I'll pull up some graphics while you're speaking, and we can go from there.
Yeah, and before we hop in there, I just wanted to kind of go over a little bit further detail about how the automatic distribution contract will work.
Perfect.
It will randomly inject ETH into the battery contract at different times all throughout the day. So does that mean that there's going to be more ETH than there has been injected into the contract? Not necessarily. So what it may mean is that there's smaller chunks distributed all throughout the day just to make it a lot more fair for everyone. As that happens, the people who are using it, their 24-hour clocks will space out farther and farther and farther from each other. And therefore, it'll end up becoming easier and easier to use the battery because everyone will be spacing out further in their 24-hour time clocks.
For sure.
But that being said, you may not be able to cash out the full maximum amount unless you literally catch it the second it goes in there. So it's going to be more convenient for more time zones, but don't expect that there's all of a sudden going to be twice as much ETH distributed into the contract because we have to keep this contract safe and we have to keep the protocol healthy and sustainable.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. And again, I don't want to cut you off, but I wanted to elaborate on this really quick before we start going into more, because it's really relevant. So, yeah, I mean, to LA's point, and I've seen some comments about this in the chats over the last few days. The gist is, if this battery is so successful and there's so much demand, why not add more ETH to be able to utilize the battery? And the short answer is that the money has to come from somewhere. And, everything that we do is real yield. And although we're able to supplement some of the rewards with eShare, if we're doing that without actual Ethereum that we've generated through our revenue streams, it will ultimately tank the price of eShare. And so, again, the ETH comes from our real yield. It's not just ETH that we're able to inject out of nowhere. And that is a really important distinction, and why it can only be a certain amount of ETH every day, depending on that yield, because that's what will make things sustainable. We're not able to just liquidate the treasury, put, 100 ETH in the ETH distribution contract and call it a day. I mean, that is, not at all what we have worked years uh, to not do in terms of liquidating our treasury. So does that help explain, LA? Again, I think you did a great job, but there's going
Yeah.
to be magically more ETH appearing for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So let's talk about strategy. We want to spend some time tonight to definitely go over strategy again and speak about why it's so important that we're all implementing this strategy when we use the battery. This strategy that AJ just pulled up on the screen, it was designed very strategically in a way that will benefit all of the individual users as well as, of course, the overall protocol. And as you know, our number one priority right now as a protocol is to get back to peg. Because when we're back to peg, we can all expect our microgrids will be worth more in value. We'll most certainly be experiencing more of a supply shock as most or all of the EMP will be within the Fusion contract. And we'll have a lot more freedom to then deploy other tactics to boost rewards and e-share values. And so you could think that you're somehow a little wiser than us or everyone else and just use the battery to cash out for ETH and not use the continuous gain strategy. Sure, but you'd be shooting yourself in the foot. Because if you're doing that, you're thinking short term, only in that one moment. And instead of considering the immense ways the ecosystem can benefit you when we reach all of these goals, not only getting back to peg, but having all of the EMP supply held within the Fusion contract. And when that happens, our microgrids will be infinitely valuable because the only way to get into Fusion will be to buy part or all of someone's microgrid. And that paired with the fact that we can then turn all of our attentions over to our second and third stages of our plans, which center around eShare health and creating ways to boost APRs within Fusion, microgrids will be in high demand, which means that microgrids are not just dashboard money. We could actually potentially sell them for more than the marked value. And most people likely wouldn't even want to sell because the rewards will be quite consistent, which means the demand can become quite high, and that drives prices up. So, can you see how a short term, short sighted action just to get some quick gains can actually completely shoot you and everybody else in the foot just because you selfishly in that moment might want to have ETH for this and that? But what you don't understand and what we've built even the original protocol to do is the most selfish action is actually the most beneficial to both you and the protocol. Because if you think about it, the very best and most beneficial strategy for you that will benefit you the most and is the most centered on you winning is the strategy that's right up on the screen right now. So if you want to be selfish, do it, because it means that everybody gets to win, and that's our goal. And so if we find that anyone is consistently using the battery and not using this strategy and just milking the ETH out of the system, just know that we do hold every right to refund you your battery and just blacklist you from ever using it again. The safety of the protocol and the achievement of this common goal are our number one priorities, and the use of this battery is a privilege, not an entitlement. And so it's so important that we're all rowing in the same direction. You guys all heard the theme song that's now up on the beginning of the stream. Don't let short-term thinking stifle momentum and block you from experiencing immense long-term financial success. So AJ, let's go over this strategy together.
I love it, LA. Yeah, 100%. And before we get to that, I just want to recap really quick, and then I'll let you keep going because you're on a roll, and I'm getting bullish as usual, just listening to you. But yeah, like LA said, I mean, we have an extreme multi-set tool belt at your fingertips on how to utilize Fusion. And again, there is no right or wrong answer in how you want to play the game individually. But I did just want to touch again really quickly on what LA said at the very end. You know, this battery is most powerful when all of us are using it the proper way. And we are able to see on chain, you know, the percentage of people that are using it. And right now we're looking really good. We're, you know, well over 75% of people utilizing the battery the right way, which then puts more EMP into Fusion, which then increases PEG and increases your microgrid value and individually increases your ownership of the protocol utilizing the battery. However, you know, we could just be utilizing the ETH that we put in to the battery to buy EMP and buy eShare off the market and just burn it. So, you know, the whole idea is that this battery was designed for the greater good of the community, and we are absolutely looking on chain to make sure that that is still the case. And you know, as of right now, we're not resorting to any sort of blacklist, but we do reserve the right, like LA said, that we would just refund you what you paid for the battery. So we're not it's not a detriment to you. You can't say, oh well, EMP stole from me, blah blah blah. You know what the fudders say. But it will allow those that are utilizing the battery the right way to continue to do so, and again, have a multiplicity effect on the outcome. Because again, the reason we're doing this is that it also gives extreme demand and utility to eShare. So it is a win-win for everybody involved. And if you want to just cash out of EMP Fusion and you hate us and you think EMP sucks, then just get a cash out battery and set it and forget it, and you will be cashed out over time anyway. So, like I said, we have many different tools in the tool belt for you to utilize. And you can always buy a split my position battery and sell your microgrid, for sack point value right today. To get out as well. So, and even that, we've been seeing a lot of secondary demand on the market already. I know some people have been listing their microgrids a little bit below SAC value, and they get bought up immediately. So, those are all other strategies that you can exit the ecosystem without hurting anybody else and move on. But those that are here for the long run, that utilize this battery, that have a long-term vision on Fusion and know where we're going to be in the next few months, this is really the point of what we're teaching to begin with. So that being said, LA, do you want to go over the key to supercharging your microgrid ownership?
Yes. And I did want to just point out, because there was a question in the chats today from someone who hadn't gotten into Fusion yet. Two things. One, there is a playlist on this YouTube channel, and it's quite extensive. So if you have any questions about how to get into Fusion or how to do any specific part of the ecosystem, please go ahead and watch the videos on that playlist. When I get home from my trip, I will be also creating new videos on this new battery. So those will be coming in the next couple weeks. Um, also, this new battery is not the only way to cash out from the ecosystem. There are 3 cash out batteries: the BNB, the ETH, and the USDT cash out batteries. So it's not like you sacrifice your EMP and then the only way to earn money from the Fusion ecosystem is to sell part of your microgrid. That is not the case whatsoever. There are many options, whether you're interested in compounding and using the BBE function, or whether you're interested in directly cashing out with one of our cash out batteries, or if down the line you'd like to use the split my position battery to sell part of or all of your microgrid on the marketplace. There's many options, and they're all highlighted both in the white paper and in the playlist that is found on this channel. So please use the resources at your disposal and get yourself familiar with all the different features in the ecosystem. I promise you, even though it seems like a lot at first, it will be a quick learning curve and you'll be a pro before you know it.
I love it. Absolutely, LA. And one final note on that too, talking about how to cash out. Here's some alpha for all of you, and maybe a little bit uh, I don't want to say insider info, but another really cool strategy that you could use that really doesn't impact the ecosystem at all and actually allows you to cash out more than even utilizing the peg profit battery, and that is the BBE. So LA mentioned it a little bit, but I just wanted to go one step further into that. Say that again, and I keep bringing this up because it's easier for me to illustrate somebody that isn't a fan of the yield or isn't bullish on Fusion. So even if you got into Fusion, you're not satisfied with the APR, you're looking to use the peg cash out, the peg profit battery to cash out, which again is hurting you and the whole process. Utilizing the BBE is actually the way to cash out and not hurt anybody. So right now, if you're BBEing, which stands for buy back and earn, that's taking the E share or energy that you earn every day, and it's automatically buying EMP and sacrificing it as as sack points with a 5x value. So now, and again, that's at today's prices. It could be less than that, it could be more than that. But you're essentially 5xing your daily rewards with the BBE, and then you can split your position and sell part of your microgrid uh, sack points after you have essentially just 5x. So again, to Ella's point, there are so many ways to cash out of the ecosystem in a much healthier way, not only for you doing what is most selfish in terms of making the most money, which we're all here to make money. When we say selfish, that isn't a negative connotation. Obviously we all want to make as much as possible, but there are many ways to selfishly make money and actually help the ecosystem along the way. So again, if you hear somebody in the chat talking about that, they're not happy with rewards, Fusion sucks, then they just need to educate themselves on how to utilize the system. And that's all part of our gamification. I mean, not everybody is going to be able to come to EMP and get involved on day one and then maximize their cash outs. EMP Fusion is much more about those that really take an understanding of the ecosystem. They learn, they observe, and then they're able to min max their strategies to make the most. And that's all part of the gamification that EM Fusion is and always will be. Cool. All right.
I've said it better myself.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, let's go
Awesome.
through step by step, LA. We'll break it down as simply and as concise as we can.
Yeah. So, first step, you're going to go to the marketplace tab and you're going to purchase some energy. You can do that with eShare or with a number of other assets. Now, here is a trick to immediately increase your profit margin while using this battery. Two ways. One, you can scoop up eShare anytime it dips down. Now would be a great time, not financial advice. That in itself, when it's dipped down, is exponentially important. Two, you can take advantage of scooping up a power pack. Power packs will allow you to receive a 5, 10, or 15% bonus when purchasing M Energy. Now, M Energy is going to be used to not only purchase the battery, but to operate it. And you'll need it every time you use the battery. So that's why buying a bulk package of M Energy with a power pack is highly beneficial, because with getting that bonus, you're covering quite a few of the fees that you're going to have to spend when using that battery. And so once you have the battery, what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go purchase some EMP. You're going to go onto the Fusion homepage and you're going to sacrifice that EMP into Fusion. And then you'll go to your dashboard to the Peg Exchange tab and you will use your new battery, and that will allow you to cash out 100 to 3,000 SAC points, and it will have ETH arriving straight in your wallet. Now, preface to that, as we were discussing at the beginning of the stream, there has to be ETH available in the contract at that time in order for you to use it. So let's, for the purposes of this discussion, pretend that at that moment there's ETH in the contract. You type in anywhere between 100 and 3,000 SAC points. You use your battery to cash them out, and now you have ETH in your wallet. Our next step is to use that ETH, go to PancakeSwap, and swap it for either EMP, or swap half of it for EMP and add liquidity and create EMP ETH LP, which is even better for the ecosystem. Next step is to then go back to the homepage of Fusion and sacrifice your EMP or your EMP ETH LP for another big peg bonus. And every time you complete this loop, you're receiving a large peg bonus. And even without getting your bonus on ETH dipping down or your power pack, every time you complete this circle, you're going to have an opportunity to profit by 5 to 10%. And that means if you are doing this loop every day, you will continuously gain, and your microgrid value will be growing every day, which means that you will be earning slightly more within the ecosystem every single day. You will be a larger owner of the ecosystem. Your ownership percentage will go up. And in between, if you are BBEing, that is even more of a powerful strategy, because you're increasing your ownership percentage even more, and you're costing yourself less fees because you're not having to activate and deactivate cash out batteries constantly.
100%. Yeah, no doubt. Again, we have outlined everything that it takes in the most simplest terms possible to, again, not only benefit the ecosystem, but benefit yourselves. And the ultimate goal, again, with all of this, and, we can kind of wrap this part of the AMA up with this. I mean, everything we do from sun up till sundown, every single day, both as a team and as a community, the number one goal is getting as much EMP sacrificed into Fusion as humanly possible. And again, we've done about 800,000 additional EMP into Fusion just from the launch of the battery. And that is a win no matter how you look at it. So these sort of preferred strategies are how we all get there as a community. And again, nobody wants to make more money than us. Obviously, we want to make this ecosystem thrive and have high APRs and have, major demand and have, multi-$100, even maybe multi-$1,000 e-share. All of the things that we've all wanted from day one is still absolutely in the pipeline. We just have to do it step by step. It's the old adage of how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so right now, the first priority and the first bite of tackling this is recovering PEG and getting as much EMP inside of Fusion as possible. And everything else mathematically falls into place after that. So that again is just the overall vision of why we're saying what we're saying in regards to all of this. And like Ellis said earlier, I think that the intro says it all. We just, as long as we're all rowing together, then it's mathematically guaranteed. Again, that word is very rare in crypto to get us back to peg and get all the EMP out of circulation, which again is the ultimate goal. So, all right, I think that was really bullish. I know a lot of people were wanting a refresher on that. And yeah, any other loose ends with the peg profit battery, LA, or any additional strategy that you want to highlight?
I think that's it for Fusion for today.
Cool. All right, yeah, again, trying to be short and sweet. Obviously, I think we have some questions as well. If you want to ask a question with any of that, please make sure to ask in our specific Discord channel, or you can right now in the live chat and make sure that we get to it as well. So, all right, so that really covers everything with Fusion for today. The distribution battery, I mean, the distribution, random distribution contract should be ready within 24 hours. If it's sooner, we'll put a post in the socials, and that over time will make the distribution as fair as humanly possible. And if we still see some potential, issues because the demand is so high, we can also extend the hours between claiming from 24 to maybe 48. But we think that this will do a lot for what people feel is fair. So, all right, then moving on, LA, we've had some incredible headway with Honor versus Madness as well. So, yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
wanna? This is your wheelhouse as the head of marketing, so I'll let you go first, and then I'll chime in at the end.
The time is now, baby. We
100%.
have our marketing finalized, and we start working with our new team bright and early on Monday morning. So this is about to be a very exciting time, guys. We're gonna need a lot of support from all of you as we push out this marketing campaign. Like, seriously, we are going balls to the walls. Like, there's no stopping us. So we are gonna have about a month and a half till TGE, and we need to make a maximum impact. So all of the help that we can get from the community will be so valuable and so appreciative. Remember that whether or not you're involved in Honor versus Madness, this has the potential to be an insane revenue stream for Fusion. And it's perfect timing because imagine we're back to PEG, this game launches, we have all the EMP inside Fusion, and then it's all just gravy. Like, what the fuck? Come on. I'm excited for that day, but one step at a time, as AJ just said, one bite at a time of not an elephant for me because I'm a vegetarian, but
Yeah.
nice leafy salad. um, but yeah, we're very excited. We have been introduced to the whole team, and we're going to be having a big meeting on Monday and just absolutely finalizing and nailing down our strategy and getting everything started. So expect to see a lot.
Yep, absolutely. So to Ellie's point, I mean, again, we put out a full explanation of the last few weeks in the Honorverse Madness Telegram and all the socials for that matter. But we had originally found, a very well-known and well-respected ad agency in terms of Web3. We didn't really have all the answers that we wanted, and honestly, with all good things, everything happens for a reason. And we were personally recommended this new company that we'll be starting with on Monday, and we even have a few more tricks up our sleeves that we hopefully can announce in the next week or two as well. But the whole idea is that we have found an amazing fit now, both strategic fit and personality fit. Again, this team we've been working with already much, much better than the original one. And ultimately, this is about driving more traffic and volume and users to not only our socials, but also for the TGE in October. And remember, the TGE is extremely important, but it just doesn't end there. I mean, we want to have constant engagement and buying pressure and you know growth even after the TGE in October, moving into the end of the year when the game will actually be in a playable alpha. So that again is all the quote unquote roadmap of how things are going to go. And after our meeting on Monday, and we really start getting everything together. Remember, even though we have a signed contract and we're moving ahead, it still takes a week or two to get all the graphics ready, the posting schedule, all the granular details. But to LA's point, when we do start posting different giveaways or announcements or potential airdrops or whatever the case may be, it is up to all of us as a community within, Dex Finance and EMP and SparkSwap and CaesarSwap and everything that we built. It's up to all of us to really get behind Honorverse Madness and the initial social push because that ultimately helps all of our bags in the long run. So yeah, really excited for it. We found a great fit. We're moving again full steam ahead, both on that paid ads. Again, we have so many different things happening at once. Social engineering, paid ads, organic outreach, articles through major distribution channels, and then LA and I are still working on an entirely separate round of AMA train and KOLs that we will reach out to in regards to TGE as well. So it is truly a
Yeah.
multi-pronged approach, right, LA?
Yeah, and then remember that the way that we set up our private sale was very strategic because all of the communities that were already involved in the private sale have a lot of skin in the game and a lot of reason for all of those influencers to promote the TGE because most of those influencers went in themselves with their funds long before they received any commissions to go into Honor versus Madness simply because they were super bullish on the opportunity and the future of both the token and the game. And so it would be very silly if they just never spoke about it again because they'd be affecting their own bags, right? So we had some influencers go in super hard. Like some of them were our largest depositors. And so we expect that a lot of them will be making lots of videos and doing lots of coverage leading up to TGE simply because their communities are going to benefit from it and they themselves will benefit from it.
Yep, absolutely. Could not agree more. And that was all part of the long-term plan. Again, everything we do here is playing chess and not checkers. So the next few months, like I ended the AMA with that on Monday. The next few months are going to be just really, really exciting, even more so than what you may be used to in our ecosystems. So, all right,
I
awesome,
found
LA.
myself waking up and thinking about it immediately and getting up out of bed and just immediately my mind is just swirling with strategies and thoughts and plans. It's probably not very healthy, but it's quite productive.
Yeah, totally, LA. I love it. Cool. All right, so do you want to go ahead and jump into questions, or was there anything else you wanted me to address with any of the ecosystems? Again, just because we don't talk about one of our protocols specifically in an AMA doesn't mean that we're, not moving forward or getting things done. Again, uh, lots of updates with the new mega decks that pertains to Spark and Cedo Swap. Pulse had a really good day today. Pulse chain is up substantially today, which is a good sign. Again, everything that we have said all along is still the case, and we're moving forward on everything. So.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. And so there's a discussion in the EMP chat right now, and I just wanted to remind everyone, the reason you need to buy a battery to do these different functions within the ecosystem in Fusion is because Fusion itself is a revenue stream, and that's part of what fuels everyone's rewards and keeps the ecosystem healthy and sustainable. And so, if we didn't create these opportunities for revenue, there would be so much less sustainability within the ecosystem and rewards would be lower. And so I know that it's easy for an individual user to think about what would benefit them most in that moment. And maybe it would be more of a benefit to you to be able to cash out without paying for a battery. But in the grand scheme of things, if you open your mind to think about the future and the ecosystem as a whole and what will happen when we get to peg, like everything I've reviewed in this stream, you'll see that there is a reason for every little thing that has been implemented within this ecosystem. And everything is thought out so strategically. And you guys and your best benefit is always at the forefront of every planning session.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. And again, I mean, we've been around the block. We know what is sustainable. We know what isn't. And, requiring a $15 battery to cash out, even if you do the BBE function and build your microgrid, you will make way more than that in terms of price appreciation to be able to afford the battery for splitting your position as well. So, there is an option for everybody. We're not a whales game by any means, especially while the BBE is active. That has potentially more earning potential, like I demonstrated earlier, than even the cash out batteries themselves when you split your position and sell a part of it. But the other thing to highlight, the last thing I wanted to say, is that yes, we absolutely charge for the batteries, but that money does not go into LA and I and the rest of the team's pocket. That goes right into more rewards. So those that are, wanting to earn more, again, those batteries are a revenue stream, real revenue, not taxes, not inflation, not, some random made up new token. It's real revenue from those battery sales that go right back into what you're doing. So that's like if you own a restaurant, you buy you pay for your own meal, and that money goes right back into your bank account at the end of the night. So you're supporting the ecosystem through those battery purchases as well. So yeah, I just want to highlight that. And then I saw another discussion in VIP, which while LA, I can talk about this if you look for some other questions. The question is, what happens to BBE when there is no more EMP available? So as we know, BBE or buyback and earn takes the energy rewards and then converts those into buying EMP and sacrificing them at the current peg bonus. Well, the short answer is BBE will go away at that point. So, when there's only, say, a million or so EMP left, maybe even sooner, um, in circulation, then we will retire the BBE. And that is why it's so important that, you take advantage of the BBE now. And the BBE also becomes a lot less relevant when we are at PEG, just because you're not getting the PEG bonus anymore. But you could absolutely let your rewards accumulate in the BBE and then trigger it when we are below PEG. So again, that's another kind of next level strategy, because that's another question is what happens to the accumulated rewards? Well, yeah, you're gonna have to cash those in at some point, and a great way of doing that now, I mean, when we're this far below peg, personally, I would be using the BBE a lot more often, because you're getting credit for the peg bonus at a much higher rate, because we're so far below peg. But as we get closer to peg, then there's another bit of gamification where you can have BBE working and only activate your BBE when we go back below peg again, which again will in turn give you more sacrifice points. So there is so much really fun strategies to be used, and there is no right or wrong answer. And even us, as the developers of the protocol, we don't even know all the min and max strategies. So it's up to the community and those that really have fun, trying different things, figuring out the best way to move forward.
Absolutely. All right, here's a question from Discord. If you offer enough ETH for all batteries for one time in the 24 hours, all users with batteries and the system are happy. There are some people that not have had the possibility to use it for the first time. Maybe you can do that only one time.
Yeah, so is that a question? I don't know. Yeah,
Uh,
I can
my
clarify.
question from that comment is,
Yeah.
why can't we do that, and why would it be not very sustainable for our treasury and our ecosystem?
Yeah, no doubt. So again, I was just giving you a hard time, Ella. Yeah, that is the core of the question, and I answered it a little bit earlier in the AMA, but I'm happy to go over it again. The short answer is the rewards have to come from somewhere, and if we were putting in $10,000 worth of ETH every day, but we're not earning $10,000 worth of ETH every day through our real revenue, then eventually the treasury would be at zero, and there would be nothing to support the ecosystem moving forward. So we have to do it in a very sustainable way. We have to do it based on what the real revenue is. Some days it's more, some days it's less. The ultimate goal is that over time, even with the bull market and volume picking up on Pulse Chain and Manta and everywhere else that we build, our BSC mega decks, multi-chain decks eventually, Honor versus Madness. Literally every bit of revenue streams that we have set up will only grow over time, and therefore there will be more ETH available in those batteries every day. We just can't front load that and potentially jeopardize the reserves of the treasury. And again, LA said it perfectly, and I think we were really clear on this from day one. The new battery, and any battery for that matter, is more of a privilege than a right. And so when you buy the peg exchange battery, please understand that there has to be ETH in the contract for you to utilize it. And that is something we've been straightforward about from the initial white paper, and nothing has changed in regards to that for sure.
Absolutely. Here's another one from YouTube. Will Honor versus Madness be available on iOS and Android?
Yeah, so the rollout plan with that is ultimately it will be available on PC and Mac, or any desktop application, Linux. However, we do want to support mobile as well. So the short answer is it will not be mobile friendly to begin with, but we are building with mobile in mind. And why that is so important is many Web3 games, they have to essentially rebuild their entire game to be mobile friendly, because they're utilizing, a lot more on-chain specific infrastructure, and gearing everything towards actual desktop users. But with us building for mobile in mind from day one, all of our graphics, all of the back end engineering, everything that goes into it is already essentially optimized for mobile. So this will shorten the time frame dramatically. We're hoping, where we will be mobile friendly in a very short amount of time after the PC or Mac or a desktop release of the game. So yeah, does that answer, LA?
Yes, it does. Here's another follow-up. Will there be an app that can scan a card to see the market value of the card and allow users to sell them to each other?
Yeah, so again, when you say app, yeah, there will be our own marketplace. So, you on the marketplace, Universe Madness, where you go to play, you're gonna download the game, you can play it on your desktop, or you can go to the website, and that is where you will see the marketplace. And yeah, you'll see in real time, what those cards are worth, what they are listed for, just like you would see on OpenSea, or what are the other ones? NFT Trade, any of those NFT marketplaces. It will be our own version of that. And the cool part about that is that we get our own fees. So, having it all in-house, those fees will support game development, or more importantly, price of the token in the long run. So again, all of that is being put together as we speak, and that will be all on chain. So the game itself most likely will not be on chain, meaning, and again, this is part of our strategy, because we're going after Web 2 audiences as well. But actual ownership of your NFTs and being able to buy and sell your NFTs will be all 100% decentralized and on chain.
Some great questions today.
For sure.
That is all that I see.
Amazing. Yeah, no, those were great. Again, I know a lot of you have been wanting some specific AMAs over on Honor of Madness, so we're still working that out. But in the meantime, please feel free to ask any of those in on these AMAs for sure. So yeah, some great game-specific questions. All right,
There's one
anything
more
else in
that
the
popped
live
up.
chat?
Yeah, there's one more that popped up. Will it cost to get the game, or be... Sorry, one word always gets cut off, but that by that emoji at the bottom. Or be for sale in Steam?
Yeah, so the plan right now is the game is actually going to be free to play. So you will be able to download the game and play it with zero initial cost. However, we will be prioritizing, card sales, pack sales. Again, typically with trading card games of this nature, you get a very, very basic set of cards to be able to play. But those cards are nowhere near what you need to be competitive, or have a full experience. So you're able to buy cards. You'll have an option to buy either Web 2 cards if you don't know about crypto and don't want to learn about crypto, you just want to get in the game and play, then you can buy just non NFT based cards with fiat, or if you want to buy, if you are familiar with crypto and you want to buy actual NFTs that you maintain ownership of, and what the true value of Web3 is, that then you have the option to pay that way as well, and that will be with our Grim Gold token that we're releasing. So you have two options, again, based on your preference, and we'll have other microtransactions for, skins and different emojis and emotes, different pets and spells. So lots of really cool things that will add to the player experience. But you will not have to spend, the 50, $60 of buying a game that you may not even like and never be able to get your money back for.
Will there be physical cards that you can buy at the store?
Yeah, so that was a really good question. We had that a few times in our initial TGE, or our initial private sale, rather. Um, the short answer is probably no, especially this early on. I know a lot of other TCGs in the Web 2 and Web 3 world experimented with physical cards, and it ended up being a lot more cost prohibitive, meaning, it was way more expensive to do that than it made the company money. But we absolutely can look into some physical cards as, giveaways or promos. Again, shout out to, oh man, his name is escaping me at the moment, but in the Splinterlands community, there was an incredible artist that did hand painted, 3D printed physical cards of the Splinterlands ecosystem, and you could either buy them off a third party market, or you were given them as a very special reward in the game. So that is something that we can look into as well. And if we get to where we think we are, again, not if, but when, who knows? Maybe when we get to that point, we could absolutely have pack sales, in comic book stores, just like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or any of those for sure.
Love it. I actually have a few physical Splinterlands cards
Yeah,
from
they did
Splinterfest.
PAX. Yeah, didn't they do PAX at Splinterfest, right, Ella? Yeah, totally. So that
I
could
saved
be,
those in case they're worth something one day.
yeah, no doubt. You got a collector's edition there, for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please make sure to smash that like button. And let's remember we are all rowing in the same direction in a giant, giant dragon boat. And the island that we're rowing to has unlimited food, drinks, and entertainment. So we just have to get there. And let's not have anyone rowing backwards to slow us down.
I love it. Yes, LA. Oh man, the warship is full speed, right? Yeah. Oh man.
Hell,
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. If you go to our socials too, we pinned an awesome Viking warship image. But yeah, I agree, LA. We're all rowing in the right direction, and the more that everybody gets on board and has that long-term mindset and knows all the things we're doing to put it in place, that momentum will absolutely build. And again, with the overall markets looking better, we're probably still in for some volatility, so just be aware of that. But a year from now, we could be in, literally a night and day different situation than we are right now, and firing on all cylinders with, Peg and eShare and even the price of ETH and all of our other protocols. Universe Madness killing it, our Mega Decks fully functioning. We have so many things on the horizon that are really, really bullish, and we just need to get there, and we will for sure. So, all right, yeah,
yes, you will.
yeah. Awesome. All right, any last words, LA? I appreciate you plugging our socials as usual. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up as the weekend is almost here. So go ahead, LA.
Yeah, AJ and I have to go because we're about to get on a very bullish strategy session. So we'll keep you guys updated. There's a lot of exciting things coming around the corner. So you keep an eye everywhere on all of our socials. And please do everything you can to support in the next couple months because it will make a big, huge difference. We love all you guys. Hope you have an amazing weekend, and we will see you soon.
All right, cheers, everybody. Good night, good day. We will see you on Monday. Again, we come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend. Cheers.